Lagos, Nigeria, and across the globe, SOUQ News TV is your #1 station focusing on business, economy, and development. With global digital reach, we connect Africa's pulse to the world stage. Welcome to SOUQ News Television, and here we go beyond the headlines, from breaking news, in-depth conversational programs, to market analysis and indices. From policies affecting growth to unique documentaries, from live event coverage to bespoke productions, we deliver content that connects you to the world. At SOUQ News Television, we provide news surrounding business, economy, and development, infomercials and jingles that stand out, short and long-form documentaries crafted to international standards, independent production spaces with full technical support, special coverage for individual and corporate events, a special form of documentaries through our prestige package, Immortals, where we tell your story the way you'd love it, and business support services tailored for small enterprises. SOUQ News TV, powered by FemWatch Limited, also home to the Isle 95.9 FM Lagos and Kasua 99.7 FM Kano, and Emirate News Television Abuja, together forming Africa's trusted media powerhouse. Storytelling, coverage, and connection that matters. SOUQ News TV, your home for business, economy, and development.
Welcome to the Africa Development Studies Center, ADSC. ADSC is an organization focused on training and research to advance sustainable development and growth in Africa. We exist to facilitate customized training, research, and study exchanges worldwide on leadership, management, and critical development issues. The center offers a platform for the exchange of ideas and best practices. Our comprehensive services encompass research, consultancy, capacity building, training, and education programs, as well as publishing and disseminating development-related knowledge. Our faculty consists of experts and researchers with extensive experience in policy formulation, implementation techniques, and monitoring and evaluation. Our methodology involves talks, individual and group exercises, games, video screenings, and discussion seminar sessions in a cozy atmosphere, making learning enjoyable for our participants. For more information, email us at info@adstudiescenter.com or call +234 912 039 2362. Visit our website at www.adstudiescenter.com to learn more about our programs and upcoming events. Africa Development Studies Center, rethinking development for Africa. Idumota Market. Eko Idumota, once a residential neighborhood, is home to Idumota Market located on Lagos Island. It is one of the oldest and arguably one of the largest markets in West Africa. Idumota is a historic neighborhood adjacent to the Lagos port that facilitated the slave trade and later, under the British indirect rule, it surrounded to exports that fueled the colonial enterprise. Idumota was also the location of an Armed Forces Remembrance Cenotaph called Soja Idumota, built as a monument to Nigerian soldiers who served with the West African Frontier Force. An Eyo Masquerade statue and a clock tower are also some monuments at Idumota. Idumota Market is so popular that large sales are recorded as early as 7 a.m. The market is made up of hundreds of locked-up shops occupying several multi-story buildings, with some measuring about 5 or more floors. In 2010, the Lagos State government demolished some illegal structures in order to improve vehicular and human movement in and around the markets. During weekdays, the neighborhood of Idumota is densely populated by shoppers, traders, and bus passengers. From the Carter Bridge ascending into Lagos Island, passengers can see the neighborhood before disembarking at their final destination. Idumota Market accommodates the substantial inflow of imported goods. The bulk of import from abroad are routed first through Idumota and then on to other markets through Nigeria and other West and Central African countries. The energy of private Idumota traders and wholesalers facilitate this activity, where millions of US dollars worth of wholesale is exchanged daily. Idumota Markets, SOUQ Enlightenment.
Trafalgar Square, established in 1844, is a symbol of British naval history and a popular cultural spot in London. Named after the 1805 Battle of Trafalgar, it has been the site of celebrations, protests, and cultural events, representing the changing identity of the city. It houses several landmarks, like the Nelson Column, St. Martin in the Fields Church, and the National Gallery. The Nelson's Column, a tribute to a naval hero, is the main feature of Trafalgar Square. Standing 52 meters tall, completed in 1843, it honors Admiral Horatio Nelson's victory at Trafalgar. The column is topped with a statue of Nelson, and 4 bronze panels at its base show scenes from his battles. Surrounding it are 4 large bronze lions added in 1867, symbolizing British power.
Iconic part of British culture, not just in its look, but this is very much the sort of centre of London. You know, whenever there's a celebration, a protest, it's a public space that's very important for a lot of not just people that live in London, but for the UK. You know, it's a place where people would congregate. You know, I remember being here all around the 2012 Olympics, but it was very much one of the centerpieces of British culture. Yeah, no, you used to be able to climb on the lions when I was younger, but you can't do anymore. So there you go. That's progress for you.
St. Martin's in the Fields Church, reputed as an architectural gem, was built between 1722 and 1726. It is known for its neoclassical design by architect James Gibbs, and is famous for its portico and steeple, and has influenced architecture worldwide. The church also a rich musical history, hosting concerts and helping the homeless.
Yeah, I actually came to London just on a little day trip, and then I remembered that this church sometimes has classical music on, so I just popped in, and there's no concert, but there were some people practicing. So there's a quartet of violins, and they made some lovely sort of practice for some classical concerts. So I really enjoyed just sitting there for 10 minutes listening to it. It's lovely. It's a really nice church, and it's nice that people don't use it much time. So maybe we should have a nice coffee as well.
The National Gallery, founded in 1824, is a treasure trove of art. Located on the north side of Trafalgar Square, it houses over 2,300 artworks from the 13th to 20th century, with free public access to masterpieces from major European artists.
I'm not really sure. I haven't been through the museum yet, but I'm here for a Christian heritage tour to kind of learn more about the history of the Protestant Reformation in England and Christian history here in England through the paintings that are
A very good morning to you and welcome to the news update on SOUQ News Television. I'm Oyem Priya Kurmale. The federal government has finalized the implementation plan for a 4 trillion naira government-backed bond to settle verified debts owed to power generation companies and gas suppliers. The initiative, known as the Presidential Power Sector Debt Reduction Plan, was approved by President Bola Tinubu and endorsed by the Federal Executive Council in August 2025. It aims to resolve long-standing liquidity issues, strengthen utility balance, and restore investor confidence in the electricity industry. According to a statement by Sena Murray of the Office of Special Advisor to the President on Energy, the bond represents the largest intervention in over a decade. Generation company owners, including Tony Elumelu of Harris Holdings and Kola Adeshina of Sahara Group, praised the move as a credible step toward sector stability. The special advisor to the president on energy, Olu Verigen, said the plan would also help close metering gaps, align tariffs with actual costs, and attract private investment to ensure reliable and sustainable power delivery. Now, the International Monetary Fund has praised Nigeria for its progress in revenue collection and transparency in foreign exchanges and reserve management. During the IMF World Bank annual meeting in Washington, D.C., officials highlighted Nigeria's improved macroeconomic stability, supported by tighter monetary policies and a more flexible exchange rate regime. These measures, the IMF noted, have helped to lower inflation to around 23% and strengthen the nation's external reserves. The fund also upgraded Nigeria's 2025 growth forecast to 3.9% and 2026 projections to 4.2%, citing stronger oil output, better investor confidence, and improved financial conditions. The IMF said the outlook reflects Nigeria's reduced exposure to global trade risks and its ongoing structural reforms. It encouraged the country to sustain fiscal discipline and to deepen revenue mobilization to maintain long-term economic resilience. Now, the House of Representatives has launched an investigation into what it described as arbitrary and excessive charges by commercial banks on customers' accounts. The decision followed a motion sponsored by Kwara lawmaker Tolani Shagaya, who noted that many Nigerians continue to face multiple unexplained deductions despite the Central Bank of Nigeria directive against such practices. Shagaya warned that the trend could erode public trust in the banking system and undermine financial inclusion efforts. The House directed the CBN to publish a clear list of approved bank charges, enforce compliance among banks, and establish an accessible redress system for customer complaints. It also tasked the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission to launch a nationwide awareness campaign on customers' rights. The Committee on Banking Regulation has been mandated to summon the CBN officials and representatives of major banks to address the issue and propose stronger consumer protection measures, according to reports. Now, the World Bank has said that affordable and reliable electricity could transform Africa's economy, boost productivity, and lift millions out of poverty by enabling businesses to expand and create jobs. In a blog post titled "Switching on Opportunity: How Electricity Can Transform Jobs in Africa," the bank noted that while energy has powered global industrial transformation for over a century, Africa still lags behind, with about 600 million people lacking access to electricity. The bank warned that high electricity costs and frequent blackouts continue to undermine business competitiveness and reduce employment rates by up to 14 percentage points. To bridge the gap, it announced plans to commit $30 billion through its International Development Association over the next 5 years to support Mission 300, an initiative targeting electricity access to 300 million Africans by the year 2030. It cited ongoing projects in Ethiopia, Tanzania, Senegal, and Sierra Leone as examples of how power expansion is already driving rural enterprise, industrial productivity, and economic inclusion across the continent. Now, Ivory Coast, Senegal, and South Africa on Tuesday sealed their places as group winners in African qualifiers, completing the list of 9 automatic spots for next year's FIFA World Cup. Ivory Coast defeated Kenya 3-0 in Abidjan to top Group F, while Sadio Mane's brace led Senegal to a 4-0 victory over Mauritania in Dakar, securing the first place in Group B. South Africa has booked their first World Cup appearance since 2010 after overcoming 3-point deduction and beating Rwanda 3-0 in Esprit, helped by Nigeria's 4-0 triumph over Benin Republic. Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, and Algeria had qualified earlier, with Ghana and Cape Verde joining them after weekend victories. Meanwhile, Cameroon, DRC Congo, Gabon, and Nigeria emerged as the 4 best runners-up and will compete in playoffs next month for a final chance at the international playoffs in March. Morocco finished with a perfect record, winning all their matches, while Algeria closed their campaign with a 2-1 win over Uganda, thanks to 2 late penalties from Mohamed Amoura, who topped the qualifiers scoring chart with 10 goals. And that's it on News Update. Many thanks for watching. Do well to follow us on our social media platforms at SOUQ News TV. Coming up shortly is SOUQ Business Landscape. Do stay with us.
Optimism is a strategy for making a better future, because unless you believe that the future can be better, you are unlikely to step up and take responsibility for making it so. Responsibility is the price of greatness. How else can one explain the thought process of a 24-year-old youth leaving the luxurious comforts in the United States to fill in for his incarcerated father in sub-Saharan Africa, Nigeria, and run a family business holding the fort till stability was achieved? This is the story of Abdul Samad Rabiu, an unassuming, silent achiever. Samad Rabiu attended Capital University, Columbus, Ohio, and returned to Nigeria to oversee the family business when his father, Ishaku Rabiu, was detained by the administration of General Muhammadu Buhari for allegedly not paying the rice report duties. Not only was his father under investigation, the family business was under scrutiny. These harsh realities of being thrust right into the middle of it all shaped the young man's resolve to hard work in silence. Abdul Samad Rabiu is the son of one of Nigeria's foremost industrialists, late Khalifa Ishaku Rabiu, founder of Ishaku Rabiu and Sons Group, the family-operated holding company with a history of investment in manufacturing, insurance, banking, and real estate. In the 1970s, the group invested in manufacturing, with its first investment being the Kano Suits and Packaging Cases Company, a factory producing suitcases and handbags. In 1972, the Bagauda Textile Mill, manufacturing woven clothes for uniforms, importing and trading in different segments of the economy, including frozen food service, sugar, and a motor vehicle and parts distribution company specialized in Daihatsu products. Abdul Samad Rabiu was born with a very big silver spoon in the ancient city of Kano on the 4th day of August in 1960, 57 days to Nigerian independence. 24 years later, responsibility beckoned. he was in the family business till 1988. Abdul Samad Rabiu, following in the steps of the family business, established BUA Bois International Limited in 1988. Solely for commodity trading, Bois International Limited imported rice, edible oil, flour, iron, and steel. The much-needed wins to his sale came in 1990. The government, owners of the Dettol Steel Company, got into a contract with Bois to supply its raw materials in exchange for finished products. This was the young company's much-needed windfall. Bois expanded further into steel, producing pellets, importing iron ore, and constructing multiple rolling mills in Nigeria. Nigerian Oil Mills Limited, the largest edible oil processing company in Nigeria, was sadly bought by Bois in 2005. Bois started 2 flour milling plants in Lagos and in Kano. By 2008, Bois had broken an 8-year monopoly in the Nigerian sugar industry by commissioning the second largest sugar refinery in sub-Saharan Africa. In 2009, the company went on to silently acquire a controlling stake in a publicly listed cement company in northern Nigeria, Sokoto Cement, and began to construct a $900 million cement plant in Ogu-Obela, Edo State, completed and commissioned in 2015, which was at that time the single largest non-oil investment in South Nigeria, and had a capacity of 6 million metric tons per annum upon completion of the second line. This was followed by a new 1.5 million metric tons line in Sokoto in 2018 and another 3 million metric ton line, which commenced in 2020 and was commissioned in 2022, bringing the total installed capacity for his cement holdings to 11 million metric tons as of January 2022. Abdul Samad Rabiu is very entrenched with his family in business, having over 40 siblings. His younger brother, Rabiu Ishaku Rabiu, was the CEO of IRS Airlines Limited, an airline based in Abuja, Nigeria. He operates scheduled domestic passenger services. Its main base was Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. The airline was established in 2002 and started operations in March 2002 and ceased operations in 2013. Kabiru Rabiu, our younger brother, currently serves as the Group Executive Director of Bois Group. In 2020, Kabiru was named the Best African Economic Leader under the age of 40, the 100 African Economic Leaders for Tomorrow Awards by the French Institute, Chausseo. Bois invested $300 million in a 20,000 hectares Lafiaji Sugar Estate project, which comprises a sugar mill, sugar refinery, ethanol processing plant, and 35 megawatts power plant. The company also built an export-focused refinery in Port Harcourt, the only destination sugar refinery in sub-Saharan Africa. Abdul Samad Rabiu is constructing a 200,000 barrels per day petrochemicals refinery in Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. The agreement was signed with Access of France in August 2020 for the refinery aimed at serving Nigeria and the West African petroleum refining needs. It is expected to be completed and operational by 2025. The privately owned Ogu-Obela Cement Company was in January 2020 merged with the publicly listed Cement Company of Northern Nigeria, where Abdul Samad Rabiu already held a controlling stake in the $3.3 billion transaction, and BUA Cement PLC was born. Abdul Samad consolidated all his food businesses in sugar, edible oils, rice, flour, and pasta milling into a new company, Bois Foods PLC. In December 2021, it was listed on the Nigerian exchange. Bois Foods emerged as a consumer goods leader in market capitalization, experiencing a phenomenal 206% year-to-date appreciation. Share prices soared from 65 naira per share in December 2022 to the current value of 379.9 naira per share as at 24th March 2024. In terms of fundamentals, Bois Foods exhibited robust financials with a 54% increase in profits to 105.6 billion naira in the first 9 months of 2023. Revenue witnessed an impressive 80.95% year-on-year growth, reaching 524.428 billion naira. and return on average equity stood at 43.42%. Despite challenges, Rabiu strategically increased its direct shares in BUA Cement by 56.37%, totaling 96.12% ownership. This move, executed on June 26, 2023, demonstrates Rabiu's confidence in his company's future growth. BUA Foods PLC and BUA Cement PLC companies are among the top 10 most valuable publicly listed companies in sub-Saharan Africa. From a relatively small company in 1988, BUA Group has grown to a world-class conglomerate, contributing significantly to the country's GDP, while providing employment opportunities for tens of thousands of Nigerians. Abdul Samad Rabiu's philanthropy is silently second to none. He founded the Abdul Samad Africa Initiative, ASR Africa, and an African-focused fund for social development and renewal which seeks to support Nigeria and other African countries in the area of health, education, and social development. In October 2022, Abdul Samad Rabiu, through ASR Africa, donated $500,000 to the United States Agency for International Development partner on tuberculosis control, HIV, and gender-based violence prevention efforts in Nigeria. Development of a 7.5 billion naira 200-bed specialist hospital in Kano State during the global COVID-19 pandemic. Abdul Samad Rabiu championed Nigeria's donation to this COVID-19 intervention by a single individual or corporate donating, amongst other things, 1.35 billion naira to the COVID private sector coalition, 300 million naira to the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, over 1 billion naira in cash donations to 10 state governments across the country, 70 ambulances, medical equipment, face masks, provision of foodstuffs for over 1.5 million persons in Kano, Lagos, and River States. ASR Africa Initiative donated a 4 billion naira police hospital in Abuja and donated 1 billion naira each for 6 universities across Nigeria through the ASR Africa Tertiary Education Grants Scheme for infrastructural development. The beneficiaries of the 6 billion naira tertiary education grant schemes are Ahmadu Bello University, University of Ibadan, University of Maiduguri, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, University of Ilorin, and the University of Benin. ASR Africa Initiative also donated 2.5 billion naira each through its tertiary healthcare development grants for health projects across 4 geopolitical zones in the country. These are in addition to 5 billion naira donated to build the first teaching hospital in Akwa Ibom State, donated 10 billion naira to the Security Support Fund of the Nigerian government. Abdul Samad Rabiu was awarded the 2022 CEO of the Year at the African CSR Awards, 2016 African Industrialist of the Year Awards by the All African Business Leader Awards, the 2022 Sun Man of the Year Awards, 2020 Vanguard Business Person of the Year, and the New Telegraph Philanthropist of the Year 2021. A recipient of several honorary doctorate degrees from various universities, including the University of Benin, Nasarawa State University, Sokoto State University, and Crescent University. Abdul Samad Rabiu is a fellow of the Institute of Directors, and he currently holds the prestigious Nigerian National Honors, Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, CFR, Commander of the Order of Niger, CON, as well as the highest civilian national honor in Niger Republic. Abdul Samad Rabiu is married with children. His children are Mustafa Khadija Kupi Rabiu, Ishaku Khalifa Rabiu, Junad Rabiu. On the 22nd of January 2024, Forbes estimated Rabiu's wealth at $5.9 billion, putting him as the 6th wealthiest man in Africa and 508th in the Global Billionaires Club. The family man, the silent achiever, the giver, Abdul Samad Rabiu.
Dr. SOUQ A. Adedeji, whose leadership has significantly transformed Nigeria's tax administration, is a distinguished first-class graduate in accounting from the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, and he currently serves as the chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS.
I firmly believe in the wisdom encapsulated in the statements. Revenue growth is the lifeblood of a nation's economy, providing means to fulfill essential duties to its citizens. These words capture the core principle that will guide us as we navigate the challenging terrain ahead, ensuring that our nation thrives and fulfills its obligations to its citizens. In our pursuit of greater fiscal future, we are determined to align ourselves with President Bola Tinubu's Extreme Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Committee. This collaboration will enable us to shape the prosperous fiscal landscape that will empower our nation's growth and development.
Born on January 8, 1978 in Ogbomoso, Oyo State, Nigeria, Dr. Adedeji is an accomplished accountant and public officer with extensive expertise in corporate taxation and public finance. His journey in public service began in 2011 when he was appointed as Commissioner for Finance in Oyo State. In that capacity, Adedeji introduced transformative financial reforms, most notably the establishment of the Treasury Single Account (TSA) to streamline government revenues and expenditures. In March 2021, President Muhammadu Buhari appointed Adedeji as Executive Secretary of the National Sugar Development Council (NSCDC). In this capacity, he founded the Nigeria Sugar Institute and spearheaded the Sugar Backward Integration Program, which sought to enhance local sugar production and reduce reliance on foreign imports. In June 2023, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu appointed Adedeji as Special Advisor on Revenue, and by September of that same year, he had ascended to the position of Executive Chairman of FIRS, Nigeria's leading tax authority responsible for the assessment, collection, and management of federal taxes.
The focus will be on these indirect taxes, so that as long as you consume, you have to pay. As long as you have interest on your investment, you have to pay. And this is echoing Mr. President's message that we are not going to tax the seed, but we are going to tax the fruit. The fruit is what we focus on. So all those things, when we have this holistic process, it will be captured, and that the vision is to have a progressive tax, that if you earn more, you pay more, and if you earn less, you will not pay.
Under his leadership, FIRS exceeded its 2023 revenue target of 11.55 trillion naira. As chairman of FIRS, Dr. Adedeji implemented a performance-based system aligning with the service's new slogan, simplifying tax, maximizing revenue.
Dr. SOUQ Adedeji has done incredibly well in transforming and reforming the tax processes and procedures in Nigeria. In a little over a year being at the helms of the affairs of the tax body in Nigeria, we have seen a significant improvement in revenue generation. His policy of not crumbling business with taxation is something that also needs to be applauded. SOUQ Adedeji philosophy is taxing fruits and not the seed, and taxing prosperity, not poverty. Because if you look at the fiscal landscape of Nigeria in the past 10 years, you find that businesses have struggled to live, and that has led to the exit of so many businesses from Nigeria. But with this new reform, we're saying that the businesses will profit from the reform processes, and that will mean more business for Nigeria. We will have a lot of foreign inflow in terms of foreign direct investment that will actually drive the process of economic growth for the country. And I think he has done so well, and he deserves a kudos, especially for taking the giant stride to restructure FIRS for efficiency, for accountability, and for value for money.
He has also made the welfare of the staff a top priority, fostering a positive working environment that has brought smiles to the faces of FIRS employees nationwide. Supporters of the tax reform bills highlight several key benefits, harping on the need for streamlined tax processes that could reduce bureaucratic hurdles and foster an environment where businesses can thrive.
He has initiated a lot of reform which dovetail into the tax reform bills that is before the National Assembly. This initiative is to improve on the tax administration system in Nigeria with a view to improving on the collection systems that will be beneficial to every member of the Nigerian state. SOUQ, as is well known, has improved on simplifying tax reform even within the federal land revenue, which in no means has improved on tax administration, and he celebrated essentially for the core initiative of the tax reform.
Under Dr. Adedeji's leadership, Nigeria's tax system has gone beyond mere policy adjustments. Its focus is on fostering sustainable growth and ensuring that the benefits of tax reforms reach both businesses and citizens.
So those that are attacking the bill, one, they are doing that in view of the formula they discovered, which may not be, will not augur well for them when the bad allocation. And then secondly, they may be having the feeling that this law was just designed to favor Lagos State in the course of its own effort to become a state that has special status. Okay? It says so that will make it to be seen as if it is a country of its own, even though it's not up to the level of country, but it is higher than all other states in the country. Probably this may be the reason why they are agitating. The one that you can see clearly is on this issue of VAT, and then they have other suspicion. So that is another worry that I have, the issue of trust. Trust, what do some experts call trust deficit. Yes, will be promoted greatly by this if corrective measures are not taken. Derivation has not been defined. But then people have to go by what is happening now. As they go against it. Since now derivation is about contribution of state that are producing these goods and services being consumed. So they have the right to just say that, oh, so now instead of 20%, it will now be 60%. And then you hear the government functionaries, including members of the committee, saying that no, that's not what they mean. They mean area of consumption. This 60% derivation is about consumption area, not location of the headquarters of the company that produce the good or services. You should have defined that in the law.
Contributing to long-term national development, Dr. SOUQ A. Adedeji's career is a testament of his unwavering commitment to improving Nigeria's financial systems and enhancing revenue generation, showcasing his exceptional expertise in corporate and public finance.
First of all, be rebranded.
Litre said he's going to be putting Nigerian labor, Nigeria content and materials first.
If you say Nigeria first and it is just us down here that, are pushing that agenda, it's going to be a big struggle.
Do you think Nigerian firms, Nigerian organizations should start looking at getting their staff involved in this market or buying to keep for their staff?
Within this side, let's also learn citizen diplomacy, see something. This is SOUQ Business Landscape.
Hello and welcome to SOUQ Business Landscape, your weekly roundup of the biggest moves shaping Nigeria's economy and the global market. I am Olumide Shokoya. I also have my co-anchor here, Onyeprie Krumale.
Good morning, Olumide.
How's the market?
Oh, the market is doing well. If we were to take a look at what IMF, World Bank, and Outlook, business, and a very, very specific, description that they give to Nigeria, we could see that we're not doing badly at all. And it's a good start. It's a good direction, most especially when they start making their references to the fact that all the economic policies that the current administration are taking so far had yielded some form of benefits.
Yes.
And it has impacted the ease of doing business. It has also influenced the market to the extent that the last meeting of the Monetary Policy Committee meeting of the Central Bank of Nigeria had to reduce 50 basis points from the MPR. So this, no matter how meager it is a significant level of improvement from experts, including Bismarck Rwane and other experts in the financial industry who have, analyzed and spoken excessively to the recent MPR meeting and its impact in the business, and how the expectation from other people to the CBN that, we expect you. I think you also say that you expect them to take it to about 25% basis points. But I'm sure if they rush in that way, they might erode all the meager benefit, the significant or small progresses that the economy has made. So they've taken it little by little, step by step. By now, to a 50 basis point is gone, and before the year comes to an end, according to Bismarck Rwane, we look forward to having another form of drop from the MPR rate, and that in itself is a boost for the Nigerian economy and should be taking us to where we hope to be.
Well, the future for me is us having a single-digit loan.
It's a good digit.
Do you think that would happen? Do you think we'll
interest rate.
Yes, interest.
If we are going to have that,
yes,
of course we can have that, but it's a very tall dream. It's a very tall aspiration. We must not, kid ourselves. But if we go at the pace we are going, right now, we are going to achieve it in the next 6 years, next 5-6 years.
Great. All right, welcome to SOUQ Business Landscape. We discuss business, economy, and development. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Drop your comments on our YouTube page at SOUQ News TV. We also have our guest, that's the person of Onye and me, on standby. We'll also bring in to share some of his thoughts. But let me intimate you on some of the highlights for today on SOUQ Business Landscape. I beg your pardon. Nigeria's clean energy push intensifies as the federal government is set to secure over $400 million in renewable energy investment within 48 hours, with plans for new solar panel plants, smart meter lines, and battery facilities nationwide. Meanwhile, Shell has approved a $2 billion offshore gas project expected to deliver 350 million cubic feet daily by 2028, raising the total upstream investment to over $8 billion under President Tinubu. Nigeria faces a 2 million ton rice shortfall as Agriculture Minister Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi calls for better mechanization, seeds, and irrigation to close the gap. And in education, the federal government blames ASUU, Academic Staff Union of Universities, for delays in releasing the 50 billion naira for university revitalization. Fuel prices might be nearing 1,000 naira per litre, pushing independent marketers to plan direct imports amid refinery supply issues. Also, Custom intercepted 80.4 million naira worth of petrol smuggled to Benin Republic. In the global affairs, the United Kingdom demands transparency from China over its proposed London embassy, citing espionage risk. From renewable energy to global geopolitics, these are the stories shaping business and development this week. We're going on a short break, and when we come back, we start off proper. Stay tuned.
Take Nigeria because it's the mind that needs to first of all be rebranded.
Litre said he's going to be putting Nigerian labor, Nigeria content and materials first.
If we say Nigeria first and it is just us down here that, are pushing that agenda, it's going to be a big struggle.
Do you think Nigerian firms, Nigerian organizations should start looking at getting their staff involved in this market? buying to keep for their stock. Within this side, let's also learn citizen diplomacy. See something. This is SOUQ Business Landscape.
Idumota Market. Eko Idumota, once a residential neighborhood, is home to Idumota Market located on Lagos Island. It is one of the oldest and arguably one of the largest markets in West Africa. Idumota is a historic neighborhood adjacent to the Lagos port that facilitated the slave trade, and later under the British indirect rule, it surrounded to exports that fueled the colonial enterprise. Idumota was also the location of an armed forces remembrance cenotaph called Soja Idumota, built as a monument to Nigerian soldiers who served with the West African Frontier Force. An Eyo Masquerade statue and a clock tower are also some monuments at Idumota. Idumota Market is so popular that large sales are recorded as early as 7 a.m. The market is made up of hundreds of lock-up shops occupying several multi-story buildings, with some measuring about 5 or more floors. In 2010, the Lagos State government demolished some illegal structures in order to improve vehicular and human movement in and around the markets. During weekdays, the neighborhood of Idumota is densely populated by shoppers, traders, and bus passengers. From the Carter Bridge ascending into Lagos Island, passengers can see the neighborhood before disembarking at their final destination. Idumota Market accommodates the substantial inflow of imported goods. The bulk of import from abroad are routed first through Idumota and then on to other markets through Nigeria and other West and Central African countries. The energy of private Idumota traders and wholesalers facilitate this activity, where millions of US dollars worth of wholesale is exchanged daily. Idumota Market, SOUQ Enlightenment.
Take Nigeria because it's the mind that needs to first of all be rebranded.
Litre said he's going to be putting a Nigerian label, Nigeria content and materials first.
If you say Nigeria first and it is just us down here that, are pushing that agenda, it's going to be a big struggle.
Do you think Nigerian firms, Nigerian organizations should start looking at getting their staff involved in this market or buying to keep for their staff? Within this side, let's also learn citizen diplomacy. See something. This is SOUQ Business Landscape.
Welcome back to SOUQ Business Landscape. Priya and I, Olumide, are still here. And of course, don't forget to drop your comments on YouTube at SOUQ News Television. Let's start with the first story. The federal government has revealed plans to finalize over $400 million in renewable energy investment commitments within the next 2 days to strengthen Nigeria's clean energy value chain. Vice President Kashim Shettima made this known on Tuesday at the inaugural Nigerian Renewable Energy Innovation Forum 2025 in Abuja, noting that the initiative is designed to boost local production and innovation in renewable energy industry. He said the new investment secured through the forum's engagement will support establishment of solar panel assembly plant, smart meter production lines, and battery storage and recycling facilities in several states. The initiative aligns with the government's agenda to promote energy transition, expand access to affordable power, and create green jobs through private sector-led growth. But yeah, this is quite a huge investment, $400 million. Now, previous governments have launched energy programs. We have the Rural Electrification Agency Solar Project, Solar Power Nigeria, and Energy Transition. But, implementation and sustainability has always been the problem. So, first of all, let's look at the potential benefits of this.
Okay. Yeah, fine. The potential benefit of this runs across different, industries and sectors in the Nigerian economy. And if we take a very, very closer look, all these investments, though some of them are investment commitments, which has not actually, translated into tangible investments, but the likelihood for them to become tangible investment, it's very, very imminent. So I want to begin to picture them as something that's already in the works. They all drive toward industrialization that Nigeria is working on.
$1 trillion dream. Or?
Oh, okay. From the perspective of most analysts and pundits that we've spoken with, they've said that currently they think Nigeria is running an economy that is beyond $1 trillion. And that probably the statistics has not really captured all the nooks and crannies and all the things that all the indices and the elements that we need to have in place for them to see that, oh, we're actually running an economy that is above $1 trillion. And that we just need to capture all the relevant things for us to arrive at that. And I think I believe that to an extent. So if we're driving towards industrialization, you could see since this current administration took over the saddle of power, energy, notwithstanding the fact that globally energy costs have skyrocketed, and it's become a very huge challenge. Even in the United States of America, they're diversifying their sources of power. They have wind farms, they have renewable energy grids, they have energy produced with coal and those that are fired with gas. So because no one is depending on just one single source. China has also gone the same route, and they are churning out hundreds and thousands of megawatts of electricity, and they all need this to power their industries in the various countries. And Nigeria and Africa cannot stay by the wayside. Now, if you look very well, this administration most of the time when it's talking about power, we have started paying attention, a lot more attention to two other sources that I think we are taking more seriously. Gas and renewable energy. But I think we need to do more concerning gas. But now, since this $400 million is focusing on gas, on renewable energy, let's take a look at that. If we go to Niger State, Umar Bago, it made the news last month in September. I think it was published in the Business Day newspaper on the 26th of September publication, where through renewable energy is adding, placing like 1 megawatt through renewable energy sources. You put 1 megawatt to government-owned health facility for it to run, to function properly. Because most of the gadgets and technology and instruments in the hospitals need to function and they need to be powered up so that they don't completely rely on the national grid or from the normal conventional sources of power. And if you go to agriculture, it's doing likewise. If you go to some other very, very critical industries and sectors, is doing the same thing, even though it's not up to 100 megawatts. I don't even think it is up to 50 megawatt. It should be between 50 or 40 megawatt, if I can recall properly. That's a very, very good initiative for a state like Niger State to be doing that. And remember recently the kind of agreement that Niger State struck with Lagos State, where they needed to provide about 500, if not more, acres of land for agricultural produce. Those specific farmlands are not going to be running isolatedly different without being powered by electricity in some sense, in some ways. So if there is making that available, then these are critical areas. One very important thing I would like for us to observe is that it will be used for storage, for solar models. That's for component to assemble components. That means Nigeria importation.
We're still importing, we're not creating them. We're not manufacturing them.
We're not manufacturing them, but the importation is going to go down. Because if we are going to develop a plant for that purpose.
Let's go on a short break and we'll be right back.
Take Nigeria because it's the mind that needs to first of all be rebranded.
Litre said he's going to be putting Nigerian labor, Nigeria content and materials first.
If you say Nigeria first and it is just us down here that, are pushing that agenda, it's going to be a big struggle.
Do you think Nigerian firms, Nigerian organizations should start looking at getting their staff involved in this market or buying to keep for their staff? Within this side, let's also learn citizen diplomacy, see something. This is SOUQ Business Landscape.
Dr. SOUQ A. Adedeji, whose leadership has significantly transformed Nigeria's tax administration, is a distinguished first-class graduate in accounting from the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, and he currently serves as the chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS.
I firmly believe in the wisdom encapsulated in the statements. Revenue growth is the lifeblood of a nation's economy, providing means to fulfill essential duties to its citizens. These words capture the core principle